Hey there, my name is Heidi Toy, and for the next couple of minutes, I would like to share with you some information on hair tissue mineral analysis testing so that you are able to make an informed decision on whether or not this is the right test for you. Okay, minerals, often referred to as the spark plugs of life, may be small in size, but they play an outsized role in the proper functioning of the body. Minerals are essential for proper bodily function, and without minerals, the reactions responsible for things like hormone production, thyroid health, detoxification, digestion, and many other vital processes would be unable to function effectively. Hair mineral testing is one of my favorite ways to assess mineral status, and there are three big reasons why. One, it has been a transformational test for myself and my clients. And one of the things I love about functional testing is it helps us to answer why, which is a big part of getting healthy. It's also a huge part of functional medicine. So for example, when my thyroid labs come back normal from my endocrinologist, yet I still feel crummy, I can look to HTMA to determine why that might be. Two, it gives you a lot of information on one test, and I'm going to share some of what that is here with you today. And three, it is incredibly accessible, especially compared to other functional lab tests. Hair mineral analysis is looking at nutrient levels inside the cell, and it can show us what is being used up in response to stress or other physiological processes happening in the body. One of the awesome things is that unlike blood chemistry, which is looking at the transport of minerals, HTMA analyzes your minerals for the last 3 months, whereas most labs are looking at a moment in time. So what can you learn from your HTMA test? Well, let's find out. Because hair tissue is a sample of soft tissue, you can see minerals at a cellular level. However, it should be noted that HTMA is not just about mineral levels specifically. When we read and interpret your HTMA, we will take into account the single mineral levels, of course, but we will also look at the ratios between these mineral levels and the patterns. Minerals are synergistic, meaning they all work together, and this is how we learn things about the body and how it is managing stress. With HTMA, we will look to determine your ability to adapt to stress and in what stage of stress you are in. It is based on something called General Adaptation Syndrome, or GAS, which is how your body responds to stress. There are 3 stages of stress: the alarm stage, the resistance stage, and the exhaustion stage. You get a picture of how your body has been responding to stress for the last 3 months. HTMA has adrenal ratios and patterns. The adrenal glands are 2 glands that sit atop of your kidneys, and they make hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. You might have heard of cortisol. It is often referred to as the stress hormone. As minerals become depleted, adrenal function slows and the ability to respond to stress appropriately declines. Adrenals become exhausted, and this impacts hormone production in other areas of the body, like the thyroid. The thyroid is directly linked to our body's ability to make energy at the cell, and energy production requires minerals. There are ratios and patterns on your HTMA test that will show how thyroid hormone is performing at a cellular level. So for example, as minerals like magnesium and copper become depleted, our ability to make ATP, the body's main energy source, decreases. Less energy production equals slower thyroid. You can do a thyroid test, the blood test, but that doesn't tell you what's happening on a cellular level, only how much hormone is being produced. Hair mineral testing will show us if anything is keeping your thyroid hormone from getting inside of the cell and from doing its job. There is a blood sugar ratio along with other minerals that impact glucose plus insulin. The adrenals, thyroid, and blood sugar are the 3 amigos. Not always, but most often, if one is imbalanced, most likely they are all imbalanced. Blood sugar plays a huge role in many areas of our body, from being able to sleep and stay asleep to anxiety, maintaining a healthy weight, putting an autoimmune in remission, and the list goes on and on. Blood sugar is a major player in our health and hormone cascade, and an important ratio and pattern on HTMA testing. Mineral patterns on a hair test tells us a lot about digestion and assimilation, and we aren't what we digest, we are what we absorb. So for example, a low mineral pattern tells us that minerals are not getting into the cells where they need to go. And this is a major problem because, as mentioned, minerals are the spark plugs of energy production. Inadequate cellular mineralization is becoming increasingly more common today. Oftentimes, the root of this problem stems from a damaged digestive system. This leads to a slowed transit time, can cause constipation, bloating, increases the burden on the liver, which affects our detox system as well. And our liver also requires minerals to properly detox. Hair tissue mineral analysis measures nutritional minerals, of course. It also measures heavy metals and reflects the accumulation of these metals within the tissues of the body. This provides a record of long-term intake, retention, or excretion of various metals. A plan is then created to address how to help your body gently remove these toxins from your body. With HTMA, we look at patterns and minerals associated with our sex hormones. For example, copper, the estrogen mineral, and zinc, the progesterone and testosterone mineral, are both looked at, but we also look at the ratio of zinc to copper to determine sex hormone imbalances. However, sex hormones never go out of balance on their own. The imbalance usually comes from a stress response, emotional stress, dietary stress, and pain and hidden inflammation, which could be a toxic overload or something going on in the gut, for example. HTMA also tells us our metabolic types. There are two main metabolic types identified on an HTMA test, which are slow or fast metabolism, slow or fast oxidizers, and one is not better than the other. So if carbohydrates and amino acids, which come from protein, are oxidized too slowly, this means slow metabolism. And if carbohydrates and amino acids are oxidized too quickly, this is known as a fast metabolism, and energy production is reduced. There can also be something called mixed oxidization types. Our metabolic type also shows how balanced the systems of the body are, where you see the 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a fast 1, 2, 3, 4 and a slow 1, 2, 3, 4. The type of oxidizer that you are and what this all means to you will be shared with you in detail on your HTMA report and during your private session. Another cool thing about knowing our metabolic type is knowing what macros to consume. Macros are super popular in the health and fitness world right now, and many sites host macro calculators, but those are not nearly as accurate as having your own bio-individualized test to show you what macro ratios are right for you right now based on your metabolic type and your HTMA. And HTMA, the cool thing, shows us this information. So as a recap, minerals are the key to hormone balance. Whether you have a low progesterone or estrogen dominance, PCOS, endometriosis, low or high testosterone, thyroid or adrenal issues, etc., creating a solid foundation with mineral status is key to bringing balance to these hormones. So often we are focusing on symptoms, and because they impact our day-to-day life. And that's not to dismiss your symptoms of fatigue or digestive issues or irregular periods or hot flashes or peri and menopausal symptoms, brain fog, inability to lose weight, or whatever it is you're experiencing. And it's normal to want a specific supplement or food for a particular symptom, but this isn't helping you get to the root of why you are experiencing these symptoms in the first place. This is where minerals come in and they really shine. Why? Because minerals act like spark plugs, which means they give off important reactions in the body and allow essential processes like hormone production, digestion, and detoxification to occur. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to test, the next is to interpret, and the third is to shift. So now you know why HTMA is such a crucial test when it comes to taking back your health. So do yourself a favor, click that Get My HTMA Test Now, and let's get started.